Today we will start the chapter real numbers. Real numbers. This is first chapter of class 10th. Real numbers. First of all, we must know what are real numbers. Now, any number which can be represented on a number line. Now, we have already studied about a number line. On right side of the zero, there are positive numbers, and on the left side of the zero, there are negative numbers. Positive numbers, and left side there are negative numbers. Suppose 1, 2, 3, and here -1, -2, -3, and so on. There are also many numbers between 0 and 1, 1 and 2. Suppose 1.5, it lies between 1 and 2, 2.2, 2.1, 2.09. There are infinite many numbers between any two real numbers. Now, real number is further divided into two categories. One is rational numbers and other is irrational number. Now, what are rational numbers? Now, there are two definitions of rational number. Number one is any number which can be expressed in the form of P upon Q. Number which can be expressed in P upon Q form. P upon Q form where Q must not be equal to 0. Q is not equal to 0. For example, 1 upon 2, 3 upon 4, 5 upon 6, 7 upon 8. These all are rational numbers because the denominator is not equal to 0. And now we can also write, suppose, natural number. What are natural numbers? Natural numbers are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and so on. And we can also express natural numbers in P upon Q form. For example, 2 can be written as 2 upon 1 or 3 can be written as 3 upon 1. Therefore, all natural numbers are also rational numbers. All natural numbers are also rational numbers. Now, what are whole numbers? Whole numbers begin with 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and so on. Now, all whole numbers can be expressed in P upon Q form. Suppose 0. Now, 0 can be written as 0 upon 1. So, 0 is also a rational number. 1 can also be written as 1 upon 1. So, 1 is also a rational number. 2 can be written as 2 upon 1. So we observe that all whole numbers are rational numbers. So, natural numbers can be written in P upon Q form. So, they are also rational numbers. Whole numbers can be written in the form of P upon Q. They are also rational numbers. And what about integers? What are integers? Integers are, for example, -4, -3, -2, -1 and so on. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on. These all are integers extended up to infinity. Now, suppose -4. So, -4 can be written as -4 upon 1. Here it is expressed in the P upon Q form. Q is not equal to 0. So, -4 is also a rational number. -3 can be written as -3 upon 1. -1 can be written as -1 upon 1. So, all integers are also rational numbers. But can we say that all rational numbers are integers, or all rational numbers are whole numbers, or all rational numbers are natural numbers? Suppose, let us check the fact that all the natural numbers, all rational numbers are natural numbers or not. Suppose we take 3 upon 4. Now 3 upon 4 is a rational number. 3 upon 4 is a rational number, but it is not a natural number because it is a fraction. So all rational numbers are not natural. Therefore we conclude that rational numbers all rational numbers are natural not natural, not whole number, or not integers. In the same way we can prove it. Now there is another definition of rational number, that the non-terminating repeating decimals are also rational numbers. Now there is new word, non-terminating. Terminate means to stop. Terminate means to stop. Meaning of terminate is to stop. And non-terminating means that it never stops. It goes on. It never stops. For example, if we take 1 upon 3, we can express this fraction in the form of decimals. Now suppose here 1 and 3. Now we divide 1 by 3. Now suppose we take point. Here become 10. 3 3s are 9. 1. And then again 0. 3 3s are 9. Then 1. And we observe that it never ends. It goes on. So this is non-terminating. It never stops. But what we observe is that the digits after decimal are repeating it. So non-terminating and repeating means that the same digit occurs every time. There is a pattern of repetition. So 1 upon 3 can be written as 0.333 and so on. It never ends. So we write it in the form of 0.3 bar. Bar represents that this 3 is repeating. It goes on repeating. So 0.3 bar is a rational number. Similarly, we can say that, suppose we can take 0.12 bar or 0.13 bar or 0.123 bar. These types of decimals are rationals. We can express them in P upon Q form. In the 9th standard we have done how to express these decimals in P upon Q form. So we will move further. Now we have understood what are rational numbers. Second definition of rational numbers, that the decimals which are non-terminating and repeating are also rational numbers. Now we move on to irrational numbers. Now we have seen the numbers like square root 2, square root 3, square root 5. These all are irrational numbers because they have non-terminating and non-repeating decimals. Non-terminating and non-repeating decimals are irrational numbers. These are examples: root 2, root 3, root 5. And one of the important example is pi. Pi is also a rational number. There is no repetition in the value of pi. We can find out in as many times as we can. So irrational numbers are simply whose decimals are non-terminating and non-repeating decimals. Examples are square root 2, square root 3, square root 5, square root 7, etc. Now we have studied about rational and irrational numbers. Now we move on to the first exercise 1.1. Exercise 1.1. Now first question is, use Euclid's division algorithm to find HCF of. So we have to find HCF. HCF means highest common factor. Highest common factor. First of all, we have to understand highest common factor by very simple examples. Suppose we take two numbers 2 and 4. 2 and 4. So we will understand the meaning of each word. Highest common factor. So there are two numbers 2 and 4. So what are factors of 2? 2 into 1. And what are the factors of 4? 2 into 2 into 1. So what is the factor which is common to both? And the factor is 2. And is there any other factor which is common to both? There is also 1. 1 is also common. But we have to choose the highest common factor. So what is the highest common factor? 1 is also common factor and 2 is also common factor. So highest is 2. So highest common factor of 2 and 4 is 2. And this 2 divides both numbers 2 and 4. So this is the actual meaning of HCF. Now we have already studied many ways of finding HCF in junior classes. Suppose we can find HCF by factorization. By factorization, by division method, suppose we have to find HCF of 18 and 30. Now we will find HCF of 18 and 30 by both methods, factorization and division. So by factorization means we have to do prime factors of 18. What are prime factors of 18? 2 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 3. 3 2 is 6, 6 3 is 18. And what are the factors of 30? 2 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 5. Let us check it. 2 3 is 6, 6 5 is 30. Now what are the common factors? Now here 2 is a common factor and 3 is also a common factor. So we find HCF by multiplying the common factor. So 2 multiplied by 3, that is 6. So 6 is HCF. This method was factorization method. This was first method, that is factorization. We can also find the HCF by division method. And what is division method? Divide 30 by 18. 18 ones are 18, 12. Then again go on dividing. Now this divisor becomes dividend and the remainder becomes divisor. 12 ones are, we can write here, 12 ones are 12. Now 18 minus 12 is 6. Now again 6 become divisor and 12 becomes dividend. Now we go on dividing till we get 0 as a remainder. 6 2 is 12 and we get 0. The last divisor, what is last divisor? That is 6. So 6 is the HCF. The last divisor is HCF. So this is the second method, that is called division method. But in the question we have to find the HCF by Euclid's division algorithm. So first of all we must know what is division algorithm. What is division algorithm? What is division algorithm? Now next we will study what is division algorithm. Now we will now discuss the division algorithm. Division algorithm is, suppose Now this is dividend. What is this? This is dividend, and this is divisor, and this is quotient, and what we get as this is remainder. Now for example, suppose 7 divided by 2. Now 7 divided by 2, 2 threes are 6, 1 is remainder. Now what is 7? 7 is dividend. 7 is dividend and 2 is divisor. And what is 3? 3 is quotient. And what is 1? 1 is remainder. So what we observe? What is division algorithm? That dividend is equal to divisor into quotient, plus remainder. We can verify this. Dividend is what here? 7. Dividend is equal to divisor into quotient. 2 is divisor and 3 is quotient. 2 3 is 6 and 1 is remainder. So what is 2? This is 7 is dividend. 2 is divisor, 3 is quotient and 1 is remainder. So this is division algorithm. Now Euclid division algorithm is just like this algorithm. It is just both are same. Euclid division algorithm and this division algorithm are same. So we have to find SCF by this method. Now this is first part of question number 1, exercise 1.1. Now we have to find HCF of 135 and 225. Now first we will find the HCF by division method. 135. We will divide 225 by 135. 135 minus 9. Now we go on dividing till we get 0. 45 and again 90. 45 2s are 90. We get 0. So what is the last divisor? Last divisor is 45. So this is SCF. Now but we don't have to write in this way. We have to use Euclid's division algorithm. Now first of all we take this first division. Now what is dividend here? 225. Divisor is 135. Quotient is 1 and remainder is 90. In the second step, dividend is 135. Divisor is 90. Quotient is 1 and remainder is 45. In the last step, dividend is 90. Divisor is 45. Quotient is 2 and remainder is 0. Now this, in writing this way, this is called Euclid division algorithm. Now you can do this side by side so that you can directly write in this way. So this is this is the last divisor 45 and the SCF is 45. To obtain these steps, first you have to do the usual method of the division method of finding SCF, then writing in this way. By using division algorithm, we get the SCF, and this is Euclid division algorithm. For all the questions, you should take this method. This is very easy method.